Hello there. How are you doing? How are you managing this powerful period of July? Are you feeling this? It's a crescendo, and it's also still the beginning of what is to come in. Can you feel it? If you are one of those sensitives out there and you have got your psychic tentacles deep into the collective energy, into the energy of our earth, the energy coming in from our sun with this non-stop solar flares, geomagnetic storms that are triggering and unlocking the tension of the faults within our Earth's crust, releasing, shaking through that energy, as well as causing disruption, destruction, and loss of life. It's truly all of the things in this moment. Are you feeling that? Let me know in the comments below what you are tuning into, what you are picking up on, and how this July has been for you so far. Because it's going to continue to build this pressure, this tightening moment of very deep old stories, old cycles that are, some of them are completing and some of them are really hitting their stride on this next shift, this next change that we as humanity are being forced to go into. So let me know how you are doing and what you are picking up in the field. If you are new here, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an embodied astrologer, an energy practitioner, an intuitive, and a channel. And I actually do have a channeled message that I'm going to be bringing for you in just a moment. But I really wanted to welcome you here. And if you're new and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Please like this video. Please share this. Truly, truly helps so much to continue to grow this work and to build these new connections, these new collaborations. And in fact, I have a wonderful collaboration coming up with Katie Gilmore and Tara Whitaker. They are both amazing practitioners in their own right, and we're coming together to really support you on this next turn of the evolutionary journey, this next cycle that we are being called to step into. And it's all about embracing your authenticity. That's right. Your authenticity, the very thing that people are craving for, that we are searching for in our leaders, in our guides, people to walk alongside us, or even truly just within our own community. That is this deeper astrological energy that we are stepping into. This is going to be a 2-day workshop within that powerful portal, July 25th and July 26th. Day 1, I take you into this astrological activation with beautiful Katie and Tara helping to hold the group space, and they will actually be clearing any energy that is ready to go from our collective field. And in day 2, we are actually going to go into this quantum realm where we will be doing a group quantum healing session around this authenticity. What is blocking you from stepping into who you are? What masks or cloaks did you need to wear in order to survive in this society, in the culture, in the country that you came from. So if that sounds exciting for you, if you're really ready to step in and embrace your fire, if you want to know what the hell's happening in the world from that higher astrological viewpoint, so you can ride these waves, this energy for this time, please check that out. Excuse me, you will find that all at my website at chrissywhistler.com, or go ahead and check out in the description below. You'll find a link there. We're very excited and truly hope that you can join us. It is limited spots available, so if this is interesting to you, if this is exciting to you, don't delay. Head over there right now and sign up. So let's start to dive into some of the astrology that's coming. Like, how can I even just dive into some of it? Because July truly is insane. The amount of the astrology, the amount of the energy that we're working with here is truly deep. Like, this has been a cycle that we've been building towards as a collective human species for a very long time. And actually, let me start here. Let me start from this channeled message that came through, and then I'm going to go dive into the astrology. So again, this is a message from my guides. This is both a completion and a new beginning. A culmination of many cycles upon cycles, stacked together, holding together, all to create what is new, what has never been seen before. Can you feel it? The crumbling call of all that is old, decayed, and rotting, all that is not in alignment with her, with the mother, the divine mother. Nothing that is not true, not coming from a place of deep love, deep compassion, will fall. And equally, even more strongly, is the call to create, to hold, to love. So there's a little bit more, but I'm just going to pause there and bring in this astrology for you. What the spirit guides are speaking to is this moment, this very powerful astrology that, again, it's locking into place. It's been building for a very long time, and there is a completion of some of those stories, or a culmination, a crescendo of that, but at the same time it is also part of what is beginning. And what I'm specifically speaking to here is what many are calling the basket. So here's some astrology lingo. Don't freak out. Just let this sink to the back of your mind. Feel into the frequency, the energy that I am speaking to, and how is that landing in your system. So this powerful configuration We're going to be having it through August. Some of these are going to continue to go on, but just think of July as like that tightening moment of the screws, like, ooh, it's locking into place. We have the Uranus-Pluto trine, will be exact on July 18th. That seed point moment for those two happened in 1965-66. This is when we had that summer of love, the hippie movement that came out of that conjunction. There is another way of doing things. It's not just about war. It's about peace. It's about love. All right, so those two planets coming into this trine, that seed that was planted is now blossoming. It's now flowing. In addition, we have Uranus, which is sextile to Neptune, and then on the other end of that is a sextile between Pluto and Neptune. So like there is this, again, basket effect that's forming. Now the Uranus-Neptune is going to be exact on July 15th. So I'm really speaking July 15th to, I would even say, the 27th. Super, super packed with this astrology. And again, it doesn't stop there. Like this is going to be a gong reverberating outward. This energy, this momentum of change, it will not and cannot be stopped. And my goodness, whoever the powers that be are around our society, controlling society, money, and so forth, they can feel it. They can feel this awakening of consciousness, and it cannot be stopped. So they're really freaking out right now. So just know, freakouts from the people in control and authority, totally on point, and also part of what's going to be that rocket ship taking us into the future. All right, so let's continue on with the astrology from there. So the Pluto-Neptune, their seed planting moment was in 1891, 8 degrees of Gemini, which, very curiously, that's where Mars is right now. That's also the United States Uranus of 8 degrees Gemini. So cycles within cycles that we're working with right now. These aspects don't just come around willy-nilly, especially with the big outer planets. They take a long time. So when they move, when they lock into these aspects, we feel them. The consciousness of humanity feels them, and we are getting an evolutionary upgrade whether or not all the souls on this planet are wanting that upgrade. So keep that in mind. We also have the opposition between Pluto and Jupiter. Jupiter is now in Leo. That's a story in itself because the Pluto-Jupiter seed planting moment happened in January of 2020 at 22 degrees of Capricorn. That story is going to continue to be important, will be highlighted at this new moon in Cancer on July 14th, which I'll get to in a moment. Just feel into what I'm meaning about these deep cycles, these interlocking circles, these seasons that are ripening, that are coming to fruition. And it's all to help us to evolve, to wake humanity up. We have Neptune. Neptune's now retrograde. This is going to really help us to see through the illusions and delusions. The rose colored glasses have come off. And we're starting to see the truth of society. Neptune conjunct Saturn in February, okay? On the Aries point, the world stage, we can see things are not working. We're seeing through those illusions, and this is what's going to be really helping us with the next foundation, the next steps that we're going to take to build an actual society where everyone's needs are met, where there is charity, where there is this more unconditional love, as opposed to the way it's working now, where only some people get a leg up in society if you check off these particular boxes. Saturn's going to be really helping with that. Saturn's going to station retrograde as well on July 26th. So again, we're going to see things very clearly. It's going to become very Uranian in these energies, a very restless energy. And I have no doubt that's part of what you're feeling right now in your life, restlessness. This isn't working. And what you used to be able to sweep under the rug and walk away from and just pretend or ignore, we can't do that anymore. That's the energy of Uranus. Uranus squaring the moon's nodes right now with Sedna and with Mars not too far by either. That restlessness, that tension, it's not going to let go, guys. It's going to continue to grow, continue to build until the ignition point happens when the people have finally had enough of this bullshit from our current society and structures, and even how we've orientated together as a human species, where it's like, wait a minute, why are we treating our children in this way? Breaking apart and not supporting the home, the family, and we're putting the burden onto them, onto our children, and not giving them the food that they need, the education that they need, the freedom that they need to honor their emotions, or even honor our own inner emotions. That's tapping into this coming theme with the Cancer new moon, and as well, as I said, this cycle that started in 2020. There's a real ability to objectively see this truth. I know it's a lot, and I'm still just barely touching the surface, so please forgive me in not covering everything, because we'll be here for hours. There's also a grand cross. We've got Pluto, Jupiter, and then we have Chiron over here, and then we have Haumea over here. So there's this cross happening, and then there's the basket happening. Like this is like this whole orientation that's taking shape is truly a revolution around our consciousness. This is a unity consciousness energy where we're having to go into these places where we've been wounded, where we haven't been given our true worth and value. Chiron in Taurus, where it's been only the people with money who matter, and that money, that those resources that allow you to survive, to procreate, pass that on to your children, it's been incredibly limited. So we're really seeing that. And this energy of Haumea, like she's coming in. There's that fire goddess expression of her, volcano goddess, where everything's getting blown out of the water. All being destroyed, all having to come down. And in its wake is that beautiful fertile soil where all this new stuff can grow from. Clearing that energy. I could really, really feel that coming up. We are being called back into ourselves to find a new way of doing things. There is another way. And yet, to find that other way, there needs to be a reckoning of our past as humanity. There needs to be a reckoning as well of the harm that has been done to us by those in charge. This bringing up to the surface, Pluto, to see the shadows, to shine a light there. There's this energy, again, this restlessness. It's truly like this reactionary chamber of change that we are being pushed into, and we cannot look away. We cannot go back to sleep as much as so many people would want to. That option, long term, is not on the table. There is this revolution of consciousness, again, the blossoming of that 1960s energy, that summer of love. There is a blossoming of that, and that is what we need to consciously tune into, work with, and create with. And it's going to be this energy of not easy. I mean, like, let's be honest here. This basket energy is pretty amazing. It's pretty cool. Doesn't happen every day. And it's forcing us, ourselves at an individual level, and it's forcing the collective to reckon with parts of ourselves, parts of our story, parts of our history that we do not want to see because it's kind of shitty. It's kind of the underbelly, it's the underworld, it's the grim, dark stuff. And we have to see it. We have to witness it. We have to integrate these truths and bring them back to us. So we're no longer continuing the cycles of the past, staying on that hamster wheel. It's allowing us to step off. That's that power of acknowledgement. That's that power of witnessing. You have to see it before you can change it. We have to see it before we can actually get off that hamster wheel. We have to even know that we're running on the damn thing. So that's this intensity, that's the pressure, because most people in humanity would totally be fine to just go back to the way things were. But we ain't going to be allowed to do it. And to get them to wake up, and you hear it in my voice, this needing to clear this energy, this is that function of Uranus. Very Uranian, very rebellious, revolutionary, divine discontent. In order to slingshot all of humanity into the future, you got to put the pressure on. That's what's happening. That's what we're feeling. That's what we're seeing in the world right now. And what I would like to say as well is there are many people who are actually the pioneers building that new future. But they're really hard to see because we're still in those first few steps. And keep in mind that to do it right, we have to take a step and then realize, oh, okay, here's some roots of patriarchy or the distorted value system of our culture, where things like emotional intelligence, psychic sensitivities, for example, aren't honored and valued. And so it's like we step forward and then we're uprooting. We are pulling the weeds of stories that were pretty unconscious to us. So then we clear that and then we take another step forward and we do the same. That is the work that is required right now for the pioneers, for the way showers into this new future. So give yourself some grace if that is you and it feels like you're not moving very far, very fast, or I can certainly speak to this. It feels like you are taking a step forward and then you're falling back on your ass with stuff that you're like, I've been dealing with this for so long. How is it still there? This is part of the experience. This is part of the basket energy that's inviting us to really get in there and clear this shit out. So as we build for this new future, as we step into our authority, we're not taking it with us. We'll make new mistakes, right? We're experimenting here, but we're trying not to take the old crap with us. All right, so let me go ahead and bring in the next part of the channeled message that came through. We are in it now. The crescendo is building, and we cannot look away, cannot pretend or bury our heads in the sand. This is a time of awakening, of remembering. This force cannot be stopped, cannot be undone, cannot be denied. The awakening of consciousness demands realignment, demands truth and authenticity and integrity. There is another way, and we are going to be learning as we walk what that is, what that can be. So, as you listen and receive that message, how does that land for you? What is coming up for you? What are you feeling? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know. And of course, all of this is completely in line with the astrology. We are being asked to see the truth right now. Not the delusion, not the illusion, not how we were conditioned to be, again, by society or even our own orientation to things like our faith or our purpose for being, you know, the meaning of life. What I'm speaking to with that are these energies of Jupiter. Jupiter is our ontology, how we see the world and things fit in together. And Jupiter is going to be expanding that, really asking us those questions. And we will be tested in ways that we're not ready for, and yet we need to. So what I'm speaking to here specifically is the Jupiter-Pluto opposition. Jupiter is in Aquarius. I'm sorry. Jupiter is in Leo, Pluto is in Aquarius. Those two came together, like I said earlier, back in January of 2020. Now, if you remember back to that time, that was the moment when the pandemic happened and we ended up going into lockdown. There was an extreme transfer of wealth, of investment, of money. Okay, that's the energy of Pluto. Jupiter is really expanding that, and it was in the sign of Capricorn. And now here we are 6 years later, and there's an opposition. So there was a seed planting moment when the two of them came together. Now we're going to really see an illumination. There's also going to be some culmination, this objectively seeing what that seed even was. So we're going to be seeing this truth being revealed around that wealth inequality. That's going to be part of that pressure. Again, you can't sweep this under the rug anymore. Accountability is going to be demanded, especially when it comes to governments, the people who were in authority and still are. There's a real reckoning. Businesses, that it's that Capricorn in that negative expression or the lower expression is that top-down authority. And again, a reckoning is coming with that. Now, at a personal level, this is very much having to do with your own authority. Okay. A seed planting moment. Now, see how this feels in for you. It will be different for each of you because where 22 degrees of Capricorn falls in your chart is going to be very specific. Your house, any planets, aspects. So this is a general theme, that seed planting moment of Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn. Capricorn, higher expression. You are strong. You are resilient and capable. You can survive. And you can give yourself your own pats on the back. This claiming of your authority, claiming of your mastery, that you're actually a badass. Who's feeling that? Who's feeling that that was one of the seeds that they needed to be planted for them? You are a badass. You are powerful. Not what society or your parents may have conditioned you to believe about yourself, Capricorn, but actually there's this expansion of this truth of who you are, this letting go, this transformation. Pluto is that atom bomb effect of our own beliefs of ourselves, breaking through these conditions of society and expanding into this authority. You are powerful. So, again, it will be specific for each of you. But this energy of Capricorn is, again, higher expression. Capricorn wants to help create society. It wants to give back to society. It wants to get things done and build it. What are you being called to build? What is that full moon illumination of these two planets calling for you? And now that it's in that Leo Aquarius polarity, this is around authenticity. This is about going to the beat of your own drum, being that mad scientist genius, this pioneer into the future, and not caring if you are sticking out like a sore thumb because you're weird and you're different. You're doing your own thing, like Einstein on his bike, riding around in circles because that's what he needed to do. Claim that weirdness. Claim that genius that you are, that authority, that authenticity and integrity that you hold. And as you go to that beat of your own drum, you are giving others permission to do the same for themselves in the ways that they need. So what has been your evolutionary journey with that 6-year energy? Have you seen yourself grow and change? And if you haven't yet, keep tuning in and asking that question, because that's part of what is tightening. Like I said, these two will be exact July 20th. And then Jupiter's going to move forward really quickly through Leo, calling us back into our hearts, and then it's going to move back. So you may not get it right now, that hit, or it more than likely you will continue to refine, to see even clearer what your seed is, what you planted even was, and watching that tree fully bloom. So yeah, very exciting, although not necessarily, again, easy experience that we're going through. This is about also coming into true leaders. True authenticity is a massive one, and being a pioneer that's leading from our hearts, Leo, and just going into that future. And I'm being reminded as well so this is happening. This is also going to be setting the stage for the lunar nodes switching, because that's happening too in July. Why not? We'll just throw that in. We'll just make this July just be super intense. Why not? Hold on to your butts, everybody. This roller coaster is going through its first massive loop-de-loop and twist. It's happening. It's coming. And if you're sensitive, you can probably feel into it. And you're like, oh shit. What is humanity needing to go through to wake up? But all right. So lunar nodes are going to be moving into that Leo Aquarius polarity. So everything I said is just going to continue to be highlighted on those energies. And then, of course, we're going to have our first eclipse season, or our second eclipse season of this year. And that's occurring on August 12th. I will speak more of that next month. So a month from now, I'll be really breaking that down for you. But I did want to share a really amazing opportunity. I am launching my eclipse immersion, where you, me, and just a few others, it's a very small space, are for 5 weeks going to ride these waves of energy of the eclipse portal. And eclipses are when shit, more often than not, really hits the fan. Of course, in the world stage, but also for us in our lives, where we can have those rug getting ripped out from under us moments, those sudden course corrections where you thought you were going one direction and all of a sudden you're having to go over here. And that's our soul realigning us, and often can be in very challenging ways. So would you like to know what is coming for you at this eclipse cycle? The solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse. I will be reading your birth chart each week, or almost every week, because one of those weeks we're going to do a quantum healing session as a group. But each week, sharing of your experience, growing together with a group in a very sacred listening space, a very divine feminine way of being within a space, within a container. And it's just incredibly powerful. And the last group that I brought through this immersion their lives have changed, some in really magical ways, and for others, it was the support they needed to get through incredibly challenging time in their lives. And that being held in that love, in that holding, again, that sacred listening, was the most powerful part of it for them. So again, if you're interested, if you would like to know what's going to be coming at this eclipse for you, you want to be, again, in a container, working with me and others through that, and as well setting you up for the next 6 months, because these eclipse cycles, they're not just a one and done thing. That reverberation will carry out for the next 6 months. So you'll even know what your overall theme that you're working with is, and it will continue to help you to grow and to build, because I don't just talk about the astrology, we also talk about the energy, how to meet those energies and to alchemize it. Anyway, you'll find out more information below. Again, link to my website, go there, and if you're interested, I truly hope to see you in that space. So, this energy of authenticity, this going to the beat of our own drum, is not going away, and being courageous to be a pioneer into that future. And our emotions, our heart, is what is going to be leading the way. So now let's look and feel into this Cancer new moon, which, as I shared earlier, is tying back in to January of 2020. 22 degrees of Capricorn, where Jupiter and Pluto came together. Here we are, Cancer new moon at 21 degrees of Cancer. So there's that illumination of some of those old stories that we were experiencing, to see them truly for what they are. This real ability to have discernment through our emotions. That is huge. We have the sun and the moon together in Cancer, along with Mercury retrograde. That Mercury, who is of course ruling where the south node of the moon is and where Venus is right now. So this discernment of the past. Oh, that's a big one. Where we've been too humble, given too much humility, blamed ourselves for not being pure enough, being good enough, worthy enough. Venus and Virgo right there. And again, it's like that ability to take off those glasses of those old beliefs that we had, to actually see things for what they truly are. And it's your emotions that is going to lead you away into that truth. I'll get to the United States in a moment, but I'll just say that this new moon is right on top of the United States natal Mercury. Let me just, yes, that one's, I'm gonna check. The United States chart is just completely highlighted right now and into this near future. So yeah, big one as well for the United States. All right, so let's continue looking at this Cancer new moon. This seed, now see what is going to grow and develop for you, where it falls in your chart, what house, any planets. But in general, this is a call for our emotional wisdom keepers to rise. Right? That's an old energy. And in fact, let me tell you how old that is. That's really, really old. The planetary north node of Pluto and Saturn is right there. That means this is a very old human story. Thousands and thousands of years of emotional wisdom, emotional intelligence, having safe space, which again, so much of my eclipse immersion is all about, is creating a safe container for you to feel and to express, to share your emotions. Humanity hasn't had that for a really long time, and it's time that we do. That is the evolutionary direction we are being called into. This time, this new moon is a call for our emotional wisdom keepers to rise. And with Mercury retrograde, to see them for who they really are, to discern the people who are true wisdom keepers and not the people who've been gaslighting us. I mean, even in the spiritual New Age community where it's like, we only talk about love and light and happy things and gaslight any anger or feelings of sadness or grief. You're not allowed to talk about that. Like, no. That's not what this is about here. And we're going to actually be able to have the discernment to see that truth for what it is. Who the real people who are holding that wisdom are and how needed it is. So if that is you, if you are holding that wisdom, this is your time to start stepping forward and allowing yourself to be seen. Because people will be drawn to you and what you hold. Family members, friends, new community who they're craving it. They will search you out. And everything I've been speaking about with the basket and all the shit that's hitting the fan, people are going to be craving a safe place where they can go and they can grieve. They can grieve the loss of how they view their country, the belief in their justice system, the truth that equality doesn't exist, or whatever it is. People are needing a space for that. Are you needing a space for that? If you're needing that, then connect with the people who can actually meet you there. Not the fakers, not the bullshitters who say all the nice things and they look really pretty. You want to actually find the people who are pretty humble, who you can feel it in their energy, that they understand because they've walked that path. Go find them. Go find them. This is also very much this energy of the return of the Divine Mother. She is waking up. She is coming online. And it is that energy of softness, of safety. But this is also the energy of the mother in that Kali, Eris energy. Locking into place, standing her ground on that battlefield that she will not move from until there is true equality and true justice. This new moon is in a square to Eris in Aries. And oh my goodness, she is calling for us to do that. So there's that tension, that outside society experience, even in our personal lives. Again, it's like no. We can't do this anymore. And it's locking into place. And she is standing her ground. So see how that divine feminine energy is coming up for you. Both that softness of Cancer and that no bullshit energy of the mother who will defend and who will protect her children, which is us. Even if we've forgotten, she has not forgotten us. This new moon is also in a trine to the asteroid Nessus and in Pisces. So this again is that energy of the buck stops here. Instead of kicking the can of karma and this abuse down the road to our children to take care of and clear out, it's like, no, I am taking accountability right here. I'm not allowing this to go forward anymore. So it's really coming in with both of those energies. There is this, can you feel it? This rising strength and authority. This is very much tying us back into January of 2020. So I encourage you to look back on your life and see, how have you risen in your authority, your resilience? Like, again, you are powerful. You are a badass. And are you ready to step forward and to claim what you hold? Even if what you hold is softer, is that more wisdom keeper of emotions and safe space. And yet there's strength there. All right, I feel like I've covered the swath of what this astrology is. There's a few bits and I'm like, no, that's okay. This is the meat and potatoes of it, and you have more than enough to work with. Okay. Again, this new moon, this is the start of a whole moon cycle, a whole month. So it's going to take us all the way to our solar eclipse in August. So continue to see how this seed around emotional intelligence and the home, the family, the mother, again, the divine mother really coming through, how that unfolds for you. Keep me posted. Let me know how it all goes. If you found this video helpful, please give it that thumbs up. Please share it. Please like it. Please subscribe. All the things. And if you want to, again, really dive into your own authenticity and to shed any of that BS that's keeping you from you and stepping forward in your full light and expression, then I hope to see you July 25th and 26th at our 2-day workshop with me, Katie, and Tara. And for those of you who are really ready to go deep and to dive with me into the eclipse for 5 weeks, that eclipse immersion is available for you as well. Take care. Hang in there. This roller coaster is really hitting those first dips, spins, and turns. But know that you're not alone, and this truly is taking us someplace magical. Keep following your heart, keep tuning in and allowing your emotions to guide you. That's where you're going to find the discernment that you need to know which way to go next. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.